you feel like it.
All right, I'm starting the stream now. Give me 1 second. All right, here are the tunes. You have a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, 1 sec, sorry.
Come with us on a journey, the unexplained and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ghost Chronicles right here on TogiNet and ParaX Radio. I am Ron Kolick, your host, the gatekeeper of the realm, the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable New England Zone Van Helsing. And with me, my co-host in the sweltering Wales, the gold standard in ghost hunting, god of infrasound, all around good chap, Steve Parsons.
It's not sweltering anymore. It's only mid-70s.
Really?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Huh.
It's like
That
a
was,
summer's day.
was it a funky beginning of the show, or was that just me?
It's just you.
Okay. I wonder at times. Not having a good day myself, but whatever.
Oh no, what's the matter?
Oh, nothing, nothing. Just
Tell us. Nobody's listening. Tell us all about it.
that's true too, but whatever. I do have an important question. I meant to ask you last time or the time before, but I kept asking. So AC is not in the UK. You don't have it at all.
Some places do, but generally no. Domestic settings do very rare to find AC.
Does
Maybe
Buckingham
one.
Palace have it?
Oh, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you find it in commercial buildings and some retail, but I'd say it's probably 1 in 10,000 homes have it.
Yeah. So you just like go and hang out in the retail stores
Yeah,
that
we
have it.
just don't. We just open the window.
Just suck it up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just keep a stiff upper lip and all that crap.
Yeah, we put our red coats on and we go and march against the colonies.
There you go. So I want to give big congratulations, of course, to England for winning the consolation prize there. So it was pretty cool.
Well, third place. If
I
only
know,
the
actually, second when you think about it, because they lost. They lost to the first place team.
um, if they'd played like they did in the final match, they'd probably be World Cup champions now.
Hmm.
But they didn't.
Oh well.
But Argentina played dirty.
Sounds like a
God,
sore loser to me, Steve.
no, I'm not just against England, but generally. I mean, they were just a dirty playing team.
Yeah, you get some teams like that. That's part of the game.
Yeah, well, it's not British.
Oh no, they're Argentinian. You
Yeah.
know that's the same thing. That's why I got upset with the Americans when they bitched and moaned about the guy getting thrown out of the thing, which they, because that's part of the game. I mean, it is what it is. Life isn't fair. Sports isn't fair. Sometimes you get crappy calls. Sometimes you play against dirty teams. So it's what's that song? It's saying when the tough get going, the going get when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So that's basically what you got to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about sports and weather. I suppose we should talk about ghosts.
Sports and weather seems appropriate for the time of year because one of the things that happens in the UK in the summer months is we don't
Wildfires.
get wildfires. Yeah, we get plenty of them. Mostly started by teenagers.
Mm.
No, I mean, we with the ASAP training as well. We have a summer recess because people are on holiday. They're at the beach, they're doing stuff with families, and really, the paranormal takes a bit of a back seat this time of year. It really doesn't start kicking in again till Halloween starts looming on the calendar.
Oh,
And
really?
then by late spring, early summer, it's kind of fizzles out of people's plans.
Yeah, the here in the States, it's year round. I mean, they go in the summer, they go in the spring, fall, winter, they don't care. It's if you can make a buck, they're at it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. I mean, the commercial companies never stop, but
Mhm.
generally, the interest wanes because people, they spend time with the families. I mean, they visit a lot of places that are reputed to be haunted, but
It's
you don't
not a big
see.
deal as it is
I'll
later
tell
in.
you what you do get this time of year. Crop circles and Loch Ness monster sightings.
Ah, that's good.
So it kind of makes up for it. And at the moment, of course, we're getting quite a lot of it's fashionable though, isn't it? UAP stuff.
UFO, AAPO, whatever the hell they
Yeah,
are.
yeah. And we're all looking forward to the eclipse.
Ah, good. Another eclipse.
Well, we're not quite total. We're at 97%.
Yeah, whatever. I
Close
mean, how
enough.
many even eclipse? We all know what it is now. So I mean,
Yeah, been there, done it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ever since that Connecticut Yankee in the court of King Arthur. Old
Oh, jeez. I gotta look it up and report back to you. But we had a summer of darkness, which is kind of interesting here back in I think it was 17 to 1800s. I don't know too much about it. I know it happened, and that's all I know. But
What was that? I think that was a global thing, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I really not. Maybe we can.
Seems to be. I mean, there are a couple of periods in relatively recent history where there were, 8, 10 years of failed crops and droughts and famine and pestilence caused by some climate condition.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I really don't. I don't remember the details necessarily.
Volcanoes usually,
Yeah,
they're usually a
exactly.
favorite, aren't they? Some
Yeah.
volcano went off, or
Mm,
that's normally a favorite.
yeah.
But no, it's quite well, it's quite a oft reported. I mean, it's one of the reasons why people claim it's why the part of the Middle Ages is called the Dark Ages.
Hmm.
In fact, it's not correct. It's dark because it's historically dark because they didn't write much down about what they got up to.
Hmm.
But nevertheless, it did coincide with one of these periods where inexplicably crops failed for year. There was no summers for several years.
Yeah. No, they'd go out and burn a couple of witches, and everything
Yeah,
would be fine
yeah.
again. Yeah.
But I mean, nowadays we just go, oh, that's climate change, and we'll have to stop eating
Global
cow.
warming. That's what they always say.
Yeah, yeah. They don't say it in the winter. But first time we have that's it nowadays. I mean, when I was, 20 years ago, the weather we're having now, that warm spell that we had a couple of weeks last week and the week before that, the national papers and the television were all, oh, we're set for a really, will Britain break 100 degrees, blah blah blah. People down at the beach, people swimming in fountains in London and Trafalgar Square, and now the weather maps are bright red, and the weather agencies are issuing red and amber alerts for extreme heat, and it's like, this is mind control. This isn't weather.
That's because I think we're conspiracy driven now. I really do.
I think we're fear driven. I think
That's a good point too. But I think they're intertwined. It's
yeah,
conspiracy and fear.
the national agencies, we have a snow day. Oh, so now we're going to get extreme, amber and red warnings for snow or wind or rain or heat or cold, and it's just the weather.
Mhm.
But they're constantly trying to frighten you all of the time into being scared of things and worrying about stuff.
Oh yeah, yep. They do it everywhere. I mean, that's what the news is built upon. They build the news on that, and then they just people start thinking about things, and they start making things up in their minds, and
Yeah, and it's no
sooner or
wonder.
later they get a new
It's-
conspiracy theory.
well, and is it any wonder that there's this increase in young teens with mental health, anxiety issues?
Oh, that's because we're vaccinating them. Don't you know that? Just ask Kennedy; he'll tell you.
Well, yeah, it's not just that though. It's because they're permanently frightened from from the cradle now. You're
Pretty much.
scared of the weather, you're scared of going out, you're scared of hurting
Scared of the
yourself.
games you play.
Well, yeah, all the kids' games that we used to play, a lot of them are banned now.
Mhm.
Because you might get hurt.
Yeah.
You might want to, litigation.
Yeah.
It's. I'm
Crazy.
glad I had my childhood when I did.
All right. So a little while ago, and I want to get this in before I forget, is that we did a show on AI. Remember that? Well, we've
Yeah,
done a couple shows of rants on
we did a
AI.
couple. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna love this. A AI security thing for a company broke the security of
Yeah.
the company.
Yeah.
And
I
it
read
used
it.
it. Yeah.
It was ChatGPT, the open AI system there
Yeah.
went rogue and without human intervention
Yep.
started breaking into other systems.
Yep.
You couldn't make it up, could you? It's got, AI's
Nothing to
got
see
rogue.
here. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, AI went rogue there. Whoops.
Nothing to see. Move along. Oh God. Hey, we're like the soothsayers here.
Well, they said, the whole of the Terminator film is based on that whatever the word is.
Yeah, premise.
And the AI goes rogue.
Yeah.
And here's an example of it doing exactly
So
that.
2000 Space Odyssey is the same way.
Hal, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Hal goes
sorry,
rogue.
Dave. Open the cargo bay doors. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm gonna do that.
I love his voice. I'm sorry. So cool and calm.
I'm sorry, Dave.
I'm gonna kill you. Oh, anyway. All right. So any other rants we got before we move on?
Now let's do the paranormal.
Okay. So everybody has things about ghosts, right? What is ghosts? We already gone through that about things.
Yeah.
But you always brought up the point of ghost vehicles.
Yeah.
Right. So I was looking at this basically a rant, and they were talking about the three types of hauntings of vehicles, and one is the ghost vehicle where it just appears. It's not there, but it reappears in time, like Lincoln's train and a bunch of other stuff. Another one is ghost passengers, and we'll get into this in a second. And then the third type is now I'm not too sure about this. Third type, according to this thing, was ghost vehicles occur when parts from crashed vehicles are reused. Now I know the famous flight in Florida Everglades. I understand.
Yeah, Flight 401.
Yeah. Okay. But do you know any others?
Um,
I mean, you and I have been around for a while, so we know a lot of stuff.
yeah. There's a few in museums where aircraft, in museums have reputedly got or have got parts from other aircraft that crashed, and they are said to be haunted by. But there isn't the evidence that you've got with Flight 401, which I think is why it's unique. Because the flight engineer on Flight 401 is supposed to have appeared in other of the L-1011 TriStar aircraft that the salvaged parts that from the crash were reused in.
Right.
And he famously appeared to say that nobody will ever be killed in a TriStar crash ever again. And then the postscript is, and they weren't. Well, actually, they were, but why let reality get in the way of a good story?
Exactly. But
I
it's
mean, no,
it's
it's
an
not. There aren't
interesting
that
case,
many.
though.
I can't, off the top of my head, I can't actually think of it. There's the Cannon Air Force Base,
Yeah, we can
haunted.
think of places and maybe
No. At Cannon Air Force Base, they have
Yeah.
a B-29 Super Fortress,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be haunted. It's quite
Mhm.
well known. But it's actually two B-29s cut and shut together.
Mhm.
One of which is supposedly the haunted bomber, and one. So they've joined two together, and
Right.
it's
Yeah.
got this story attached to it. That's at Cannon Air Force Base, which I think is in New Mexico. That's quite a famous one. I did a talk about haunted aircraft.
Oh, that's
Uh,
a cool talk, actually.
no, it was at Spirit Quest or one of the
Shit.
related. Yeah, no, it was at Spirit Quest. So you obviously weren't there.
Yeah, I had so much to do. That's the one thing I hated about Spirit Quest is I would never get to see the freaking.
And I did touch on several well-known aviation and transportation ghosts,
Oh, you did. Okay.
but off the top of my head, I can't think of many attributions where they've kind of taken parts from one aircraft, apart from 401.
Yeah. I mean, we did an investigation of a B-17, and I forget even the details on it, but all I know is that I don't know if it was this, if we had a medium, one of the mediums had said something about that somebody had been killed when the making of the plane. And it had, it was that's what it's about. But anyways, so we did actually it was belonged to the Heritage Museum. They did some research, and the factory it came out of. Now we can't say if it was that plane specifically, but if the factory it came out of, that's exactly what happened. Somebody walked into the uh, propeller in the test and was killed. Now that could be nothing, but it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just an idea, a thought, and we can't even really directly
Well,
associate it with it. But it's
no,
funny thing
if
about that plane. It
if you
crashed.
take, I mean, there's a series of books in the UK that look at haunted airfields and the stories associated with them, and of course the aircraft.
Yeah.
And of course, what you've got to remember is most aviation museums have war-related airframes inside of them.
Oh yeah.
The and the fact that a medium then senses that somebody died or as a result of being shot down by that plane or shot down in that plane or servicing the plane or walking through the propeller seems to be, almost a favorite way of dying.
I would imagine. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I know. I'm not trying to justify it or anything else. I'm just
no,
saying.
but there are three or four that I can think of where the ghost is attributed to some, half-witted airman walking through the propeller blade.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I just think it's funny sometimes because we know not there was no reports of haunting on this plane, no nothing, but we were lucky enough to be able to investigate. It was two planes actually, the B-17, another bomber too. I can't think of the name of it. B-20. No, I don't know.
Liberator.
I can't remember, Steve. I really can't. This was a long time ago. And so
That's
that, just to have that come up out of nowhere, it's not like, oh, there's a ghost in here, and there's whatever. Yeah.
I would disagree. I would say that if you're a medium, you're on fairly safe ground. If you say I'm sensing a death, associated with this plane,
I think it was a little bit more than that.
you
Okay,
have to be very
it was me,
specific.
Steve. It was me.
It was you.
Yeah, I just try to make it a little bit blame it on the medium, but I was my own thoughts. I was just for some reason there. I think some.
But then that's a fairly natural thought process. You see this
I get it.
word,
I know you're logical. I know where you're going logically with it. I really do. And I'm
but I
not
mean,
gonna.
if we look at one of the most famous haunted bombers, in literature, which is at the RAF Cosford Museum of Flight.
Is that
The
the
Royal
bell?
Air Force. It's a post. It's a Lincoln bomber,
Oh, okay.
which is
The Memphis Bell was a cool story.
yeah, but the Memphis Belle isn't haunted.
I know. Go ahead.
But this Avro Lincoln, which is to all intents and purposes, it's a Lancaster. And it was built in 1945. It never saw active service. It was being prepared for the Pacific War after the surrendering Europe, and it was, the British forces were going to working on the invasion of Japan. So it never went. And at the end of it, did some stuff after the war, testing stuff, and and then it ended up in the Royal Air Force Museum, and now it's on display in Cosford. And inside of it, people have down the years said that they've heard the sounds of engines and switches being thrown and people moving about and clicks and bumps that they've identified as, part of the process of running the aeroplane. Now, one of the obviously the thing's never been to war and nobody's
Oh, it
ever
hasn't?
died. No, it never left. It never left the UK.
Oh, I
Uh,
didn't know that.
it never fired a shot in anger. Nobody was ever killed.
I hate that phrase.
Nobody was ever killed whilst working on it, near it, round it, or however, one medium did actually suggest that the reason it's now haunted is one of the museum volunteers, because it's been in a museum for about 30 something years.
Mhm.
This one museum volunteer was so attached to this particular airframe, restoring it and looking after it and maintaining it and polishing it and cuddling it, and that after he passed away, his spirit is still, of course, attached to the airframe,
According to the media.
according to the media. Which explain, which is a neat get out of jail card for those people that say, oh, it went to war, or it's got bits in it from aircraft.
Yeah,
that
I
went
get it. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe that there is a single Royal Air Force World War II or US Army Air Forces airfield from World War II in the UK that doesn't have a ghost or ghost story. Every single one, and it's surprising, most of them are remarkably similar. It's almost as if the same story transplants itself. And of course, you go back through the history of these that were active airfields in World War II. You can find many deaths. There are actually cases of airmen ground crew who walked through the propeller. There are guys that came back wounded and died.
I get it.
There are, lots of tragedy which people can relate to. And if you go visit these airframes in museums, and I do, and it's one of the things I love doing, you have this sense of history. You have this sense of, these things, these big aluminium machines did fight, and people died in them, on them, around them, all of the time. And so it kind of does play into the imagination. When I visit the Royal Air Force Museum, where the haunted Lincoln bomber is, I was there earlier this year.
Oh, cool.
Um,
See, these are the things you should be doing your Patreon for. It's like, oh,
It is.
I'm
It
standing
is.
in front of a thing. This is, the reputed blah blah blah.
It's a bit difficult at the Royal Air Force Museum. You whip a camera out, and you start vlogging, and somebody comes up and goes, "Oh, that's not allowed."
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Did you speak to the press office before you?
oh, here we go. Yeah, it sounds like the Coast Guard base.
Yeah.
Portsmouth Harbor, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. You go into many stately homes now, and if you can take a small mobile phone camera,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
if they think that you're using the pictures at all, so if you're talking to the camera, making a vlog, you're obviously probably doing it for
Yeah.
YouTube. You've probably monetized a YouTube channel, therefore they want you to go off and buy a photographer's license.
License.
Yeah. You can't even walk into our local cathedral now with a camera without
Oh
them.
gosh.
God forbid if you carry a tripod. Oh,
They'll arrest you, huh?
well, they won't arrest you, but they'll direct you to the place where they want to take your money away.
Cool enough. Anyway, that's oh God, I had something I was going to ask you too, but damn it. Oh well. Anyway, all right. So planes we were talking about and the museums.
Trains and also a lot of railway stations actually are haunted.
Now we're into buildings, though.
Well, yeah, but you've also got the trains themselves. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was asking. That's the third.
there's
That's
a
what I really
haunted.
want.
There's a haunted that. Well, my daughter actually reported a ghost train.
I love your grandchild. She's so cute.
She is cute.
Yeah.
But
She had
my
oogles and aga every time a picture comes up.
my daughter, you won't see the videos. She's teething at the moment though.
Oh, boy.
My daughter, when she was about 7 or 8, she told me. I think we're a bit close to the ad break to go into the full story, so remind me after the break. But
Okay.
there are lots and lots of railway related ghosts, probably second most to aircraft.
What about ships?
Well, apart from obviously the.
Well, see, that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
there's a very famous one.
That's the thing
King
you're talking
George.
about. You're talking about the vehicle itself, or you're talking about
Well, in the case of well, with railway engines or railway trucks, locomotives and trains, it's about the same as with aircraft. You've got the vehicle itself and the people that
right?
were in. But with ships, it's just ships, except for obviously.
Well, can't ships be haunted? I mean,
Well, one of them was seen by a king.
oh, look, yeah, I know that. I know. Yeah, I know. Understand that's the Flying Dutchman, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about the
Well, he said
people.
it was a Flying Dutchman.
The people. You. That was your king.
Well,
I'm talking about the people themselves, not the vehicle.
you do have the SS Great Britain, which is
Oh,
supposedly
you have the Queen Mary, which is supposedly loaded with ghosts.
the Queen Mary, yeah. But you also have SS Great Britain. So, and they're obviously the vehicle itself isn't the reason for the haunting. It's the people that were on the vehicle.
Yeah. So there's kind of a distinction there in reality.
But there are very few. I mean, there are the legends associated with ships, there's a very famous ghost story here of a haunted ship.
Do we have enough time?
Not before the ad break.
Okay, let's hold off on it then.
So, but after the ad break, we can talk about the train and we can talk about the HMS Asp.
Your daughter's experience, though.
And also HMS Asp.
I don't know what an yeah, okay. I don't know that one.
Yes, Asp is a snake.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know that particular one.
Oh, right. Well, I'll tell you after the break.
Oh. Is the Golden Hind haunted?
I don't know. The replica isn't.
Oh, that's too bad. Supposedly the USS Constitution is haunted.
Weirdly, HMS Victory apparently isn't, which is a bit strange because you would have thought Admiral Lord Nelson would have.
I actually, in one of my books, Ghost Today, there's a report from a lighthouse in Nova Scotia that he haunts there. Anyway, there's this connection there. All right, so we got to go. We have to take a break. You're listening to Ghost Chronicles International with Steve Parsons and Ron Kolick, and tonight we're talking haunted vehicles, trains, planes, buses, and whatever else.
Planes and automobiles.
There you go, and ghostly carts and whatever else that we can talk about. And we are brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, 386 Merrick Street, Methuen, Massachusetts, the Glant Messier Family Law Group, 55 High Street, or 15 or 5, or whatever it is, High Street, North Andover, Massachusetts, and our very good friends on Ghost Chronicles Radio and Patreon, and of course, Positively Brilliant Candles, Reiki Infused Candle on Etsy. We'll be right back after the following messages.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Shadow on the wall that looks like a man. Lord, that lamp just moved on that stand. I got movement in the cellars, I got footsteps in the hall. There's no time to waste, I better make some calls. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. This old house has a long history. It should be real, real good for activity. And we got the house wired for sound and got motion alarm setting all around. Got a box full of batteries ready to go, and everyone's itching to start this show. Got our logo tees, driving black SUVs, and that one bald guy with a slick goatee. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. Well, there's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. Hey, round up the teams. Let's get started. Hey, this is your big brother Mike calling. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are ghost hunting tonight. That's right. Go get 'em, boys!
Explore the seasons of the witch by way of magical spells and practices for each turn of the wheel of the year. Magic for All Seasons offers a fresh approach to a lifestyle that focuses on mind, body, and spirit in the nature-based way that our ancestors practiced throughout the ages. Starting with Samhain, author Marla Brooks, an experienced and long-time magical practitioner, explores the 8 Wiccan and pagan Sabbats that comprise the traditional Wheel of the Year, while incorporating original spells, recipes, incantations, meditations, and more that enhance the magic of each season. Oh, and be forewarned, this book is dedicated to Marla's great-grandmother Sophie, and a powerful witch she was. You'll run into her throughout the book. So don't be surprised if you feel someone looking over your shoulder. It's only Sophie wanting to say hello.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of tonight's 2 hours of Ghost Chronicles Mayhem, without Sophie, but with Ron and Steve, because this is the international one, which is the cool one.
It is. And speaking about cool, the Apple podcast rankings for top 3 keywords on 7/14 Ghost Chronicles International ranks number 7 in
Whoa!
international ghost stories.
Well,
Number
there we
10 in ghost hunting equipment. Wait for it.
10.
Yeah, and ghost. Yeah, and wait for it. Number 8 for Russian submarines.
Are we still there with Russian submarines?
I don't even remember doing a show on Russian submarines.
I think we'll have to do a special show on Russian submarines.
You know, I got the Matrix one time on the morning show, and we were ranking like the highest on what the hell is it? Oh, some stupid thing like strange deaths or something like that. So we
Wow.
would always throw up in a segment in there for strange deaths.
I think week on week we'll have to do a 5-minute segment after the mid break on Russian submarines.
I don't know where they get that crap, but anyway.
We'll start with the Kursk next week. Tune in next week for Russian submarines, a new series starting only here on Ghost Chronicles.
There are
International.
actually quite a few stories about submarines, and you know that
Oh yeah,
about ghosts and submarines. So
and unlucky submarines.
and unlucky too. I mean, there's so many. We're gonna do a show on submarines.
Well, we do Thetis and Thunderbolt,
We could do it. What?
HMS Thetis and HMS Thunderbolt.
Yeah, well, we got a whole bunch of them, but Thresher, we got a bunch of others. But
Yeah, well,
we have German submarines, U-tubes that's got
oh,
tactical.
actually, I was given maybe this is a portent of things to come. But last week I was given a brass fitting from the conning tower of a German U-boat.
See,
So
it was meant to be.
And yeah,
there is no synchronicity. There's no such thing as coincidence. We all know that.
just anyway, we did promise we talk about
Yes, your
stories.
daughter and the asp or something.
Yeah, well, let's start off with because she's 30 now. So when she was 5 or 6 years old, she went on a play day with one of her friends who lived several roads away. And now, I think she was about 7 years old. Anyway, at the end of the day, she came back home and she was telling us about a steam engine that her and her friends had seen and heard on the railway line. The friend's house backed onto a railway cutting, and modern diesel trains use the line frequently, in fact, once every 15 minutes, commuting trains to and from Liverpool. But this one was different because it was all black and a steam train. And it made, steam train noises, chuff, 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 and woo with the whistle. And the children obviously went to look at it, and then they went to tell the parents, and the parents came out to look at the steam train because, hey, why not? It's a steam train. But of course, there was no steam train to be seen.
Oh,
so I was interested. It was local, and I thought, I wonder, did they imagine it? They were quite fairly adamant that they hadn't imagined it. The children told the same basic story of this all black steam train.
sounds like the Coddling Fairies.
On the side of, on the tracks that they could see below at the end of the garden in the cutting. Well, it turns out, actually, during World War II, there used to be a station. It's still marked on old maps, located more or less at the end of the garden. And
Were there tracks there now?
Oh, the track's still in use, but the station platforms and the buildings have been removed.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The reason they were removed is because one night during 1940, during the Blitz on Liverpool and Merseyside, a steam train at the station got hit by a German bomb. And the station and the train were both wrecked.
No.
Now there are plenty of photographs of the crash after after the clear up and everything else.
Mhm.
And when you look at where the steam engine was when it was wrecked by the German bomb, it was in exactly the same spot, facing in exactly the same direction that children claim to have seen it.
Really? Was it a
Which I
time
thought,
slip?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
I
intriguing.
mean, I don't know, but the children were adamant.
Mhm.
They weren't really prone to making stuff up, especially about steam trains.
Right.
It wasn't. And it was girls, so if it was boys, you could possibly say they had the thing about steam trains or trains.
Right.
But the description of it, all black, matched the actual incident train. They were kind of like a cast iron painted black color. But that was intriguing. Now HMS Asp. When I first moved down to Pembrokeshire, one of the things I did was to look at the local ghost stories. And so I bought the Gazetteers and the Ghosts of Pembrokeshire and blah blah blah. And in almost every single book was the story of HMS Asp. Now, the Asp started life as a civilian tramp steamer going back and forth between Pembrokeshire and Southern Ireland. And then it was requisitioned by the Royal Navy. Now, prior to the requisition and immediately afterwards, the crew of HMS Asp reported doors banging and a figure moving about on the ship and a sense of presence and being watched. And several members of the crew refused to serve on the ship. Well, periodically it would lay up for refitting in the river, half a mile from here. And during one of the stays at the dockyard, so the ship was moored up and it was being refitted from the Pembroke dockyard. The crew, one of the crew on watch, observed a white, shimmering female figure walk along the deck to the bow of the ship, and they were terrified and ran away. Well, on its next visit, the ship came into the dockyard itself. It was called Penna Dockyard, but it was in Pembroke. It got renamed. And the naval rating on watch saw this female figure emerge from below deck, walk to the front of the ship, and down the plank and off into the local churchyard, whereby it stood in the churchyard and disappeared. And the captain of HMS Asp had written all of this down, of course. The churchyard is still there, the church is still there, albeit a bit ruined. But when they actually looked into the history of the Asp, remember before I said it had been a civilian ship?
Yes.
Prior to being requisitioned. Well, during its time as a civilian vessel, there had been a murder on board, and a female passenger was found dead in her cabin.
Oh.
And her body was buried in the churchyard at Penna, where the spirit was seen to disappear.
That's similar to the ghost hitchhikers and Resurrection Mary in Chicago, where people get in the car, they see the person and everything else, they go to the cemetery and then they disappear into the cemetery and they find, of course, there's a story that goes with it all the time. But there are a lot of cases like that, though, right?
The thing about HMS Asp is
Yeah.
the story wasn't written like 10 years ago or 20 years ago by a storyteller. It was actually written down by the captain of HMS Asp.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Who later became the dockyard superintendent.
Yeah, but you also have reports of Christopher Columbus with
Yes.
mermaids and things. I mean,
this wasn't. I mean, 1492 when he said.
I know. I get it. I get what you're saying.
whales and dolphins. But we're talking here in the late 19th century.
Hmm.
People weren't that gullible.
Right. Okay, I get it.
I don't know. I don't know.
I just thought out that's what we do.
I mean, it's interesting that, and it's a very famous story. It's one of the. If you look at ship ghosts, HMS Asp is usually right up there.
Mm.
Like us, it's normally in the top 10.
Yeah, I'll have to do some more research because, quite frankly, I had never heard of it before. But
HMS Asp, ASP.
yeah, like the snake.
I like the snake.
Mhm.
There's probably dozens and dozens of Google pages dedicated to it.
Yeah. You ever hear of the RMS Rhone? RHONE?
Not off the top of my head.
I could probably look it up if you get a second.
Yeah.
I can, because I wrote about it.
Oh.
I just have to. But there are quite a few ships that are ghost
Oh, yeah.
ships with it.
I mean, well, during my time on my Saunty, we investigated HMS.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about because I knew you did some ship out there.
Yeah, it was up in Dundee. I think it was the HMS Endurance, the icebreaker, the one that was used in the Antarctic exploration.
Oh, wait a minute! Yeah.
As was as was the ship that we were using as a base, the name of which eludes me, but it had never been to war. And in fact, there was a comedic moment during that program when the medium went round the cannons on the ship doing psychometry off them.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, and he deduced that the cannon, one particular cannon, had been used, to kill.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that particular cannon was a replica cannon. And had been had nothing to do with, it was made out of resin, plywood, and steel.
So I went to look for this one I was talking about, the Rhone, and what did I come across? And where is Glossop in England?
Glossop's near Manchester.
Oh, okay. You ever hear of the Overexposed?
No.
The Overexposed is a specifically modified B-29 airplane.
Oh, yeah. The ghost bomber of it's got Glossop is well known for several ghost aircraft sightings.
Yeah.
All the moors and hills around Glossop, north of Manchester, is well known for a phantom bomber.
And this is just the one?
There are several attributions, but the main witness of the main story of this 4-engine bomber flying silently down the valley, and then people thought it had crashed, blah, blah, blah. When the records were checked, it was actually an RAF C-130 on a low-level training operation.
Yeah.
Conveniently in the same place at the same time.
This is supposedly haunted by Captain Landon P. Tanner.
Well, as I said before, there are. I've got half a shelf of books of aviation ghosts, and Glossop does feature in several accounts, and there are several attributions, and different witnesses say 2-engine, 4-engine, but the most recent reliable witness of the 4-engined ghost bomber was actually tied into an RAF C-130 transport aircraft on a low-level training flight.
So according to this, in 1997, several local residents witnessed the low-flying plane that eventually crashed into the upper moors.
Except it didn't crash.
Well, let me continue. And helicopter rescue teams were dispatched to the area to look for survivors, but no one was there. No survivors. No plane was there. Nothing was found.
Yeah, because there was a loud boom heard, and it was thought. I mean, the actual sighting of the bomber was not the same night. Um, it's an area that is well used by the Royal Air Force for low-level flying,
Yeah.
and there was a bolide meteor that did was registered by the British Geological Survey, and the dates are adjacent to one another. And I think what happened was people heard the bang, and there'd been an RAF flight, earlier, and they put two and two together and called out the mountain rescue.
Did they have Crew of 13?
What, RAF C-130s
I don't. This is supposed to be a
or the
B-20.
B-29?
Yeah.
Well, the B-20. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, this is very
they
vague.
had upwards of 10. There were 10 in a B-17, and you had a couple of extra guys. So often, I mean, there was a B-24 crash in West Wales, about 10 miles north of here, that had 26 on board, because it was flying up to RAF Burtonwood, where they were, joining another plane to fly them across the Atlantic.
Uh,
So it had, multiple. They weren't even aircrew. Some of them. Some of them were U.S. Army hitching a lift.
Supposedly, some history buffs who were looking through the area and they came across a ring that belonged to this Captain Landon P. Tanner, and they sent the ring to
I wouldn't be surprised.
the family and to the United States because
Yeah.
that's who the
I
family.
mean, there
Hmm.
were. I mean, in my relatively small county, which is only the size of Greater Boston, we've got upwards of 60 plane crashes. Wartime plane crashes. In fact, there are two books on the shelf, that specifically look at the crashes. One of which actually did maybe during the RAF Brawdy Air Show in the 1980s, so before my time down here. There was a US Air Force F-4 Phantom I'd booked into the air display, into the show to do an air display. After it took off, it got into technical difficulties. The crew tried to turn it round to land back and failed, and the thing crashed into St. Bride's Bay, which is about 8 miles away. Now, 3 years ago, a man came up and told me about an interesting ghost he had seen. He'd been fishing at the beach at Newgale, which is where the F-4 Phantom crashed, just off Newgale Beach. And he said it was a misty morning. Him and his friend were both fishing when it was, they could probably see about 50 yards. And he said he saw a man walking towards them, a motorcyclist wearing a silver motorcycle crash helmet and an orange jacket, or an orange and green jacket scarf type thing. He said the mist wasn't, it wasn't clear. And when they'd attended to their fishing rods, and when they looked back, this figure had walked off into the mist, or so they thought, or disappeared. They never saw or heard the motorcycle. Now, their description of the motorcyclist tallies very closely to a member of the flight crew of an F-4 wearing his bone dome helmet and also his Mae West life jacket with the orange collar, blah blah blah. So that's a really quite interesting recent new ghost story that's come out of West Wales.
Interesting. Just a quick lineup, and I know we only got a minute left, so I'll make this very quick. The HMS Rhone, October 29th, 1867. It was a Royal Mail ship. It was built in Southampton, England. It was a part of the Royal Mail Packet Company. It and another ship, the Conway, sailed to, they were refueling off the coast of Great Harbor in the Caribbean when the skies grew dark and they ran into a storm. it was really rough. The Rhone was supposed to be unsinkable. The seas became calm again, so they transferred all the passages from the Conway to the Rhone, and the Conway tried to make it to the harbor, but it didn't make it. It sank with all aboard. The Rhone, in the meantime, had their passengers strapped to the beds because of the rough seas. They didn't want them hurt. And the unbelievable happened. It sank, and now it is part of a marine park where people go scuba diving, and they claim that they can hear screams underwater, and also being touched when no one's around, of course. So that's the quick solution. But we got to go. So
Yeah. Next week, Russian submarines.
no, next week is pub edition.
Oh, we could maybe do a small bit about Russian submarines.
No, we'll do a whole show on that.
All
All
right.
right. So you've been listening to Ghost Chronicles right here on International, right here on TogiNet, and we're brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, Grant Messier law firm,
And the Russian Navy.
and the Russian Navy, and Google search, I guess. So good night, everyone. God bless and stay safe. And watch out for the spooks.
Yeah. До свидания.
Watch out for the AI. Even worse.
AI could break into the show, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm not sure it hasn't. They know they know we're against them. We're AI terrorists, according to
Google.
Yeah, according to Google.
Number 3 in AI terrorism.
Probably 1-1 now.
From goalies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night.